Day 30 of this Dear Diary series. Thank you to anyone who is tuning in and watching this 30th day. If you are new, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my channel, and you might want to go back and watch some of the other videos from this series, my Dear Diary series. As you know, if you've been watching, I set out to show up here and share with you guys what was coming up for me, all with the backbone of acknowledging that when we move through life, our body, our heart, our intuition has this innate compass within us, this innate system of communicating to us. And I am choosing to live my life tuning into that innate system and choosing that again and again over the programming or fear mentality that can sometimes take over our headspace, our minds. And after sharing with you every day for 30 days, I want to share some of the takeaways that I got out of doing this series. And the first one is, as you may know, if you've been watching all these videos, our body has so much wisdom and it's always delivering messages to us, whether we realize it or not. But what I've recognized to a greater degree with doing this series is that my body's wisdom, my body's voice, if you will, is always speaking. But the question is, am I taking the time and the presence to sit with it and to decode it? Because the body speaks in a language different than words. So it takes a little bit more patience to lean in and hear what that language or feel what that language is communicating to us. And there were so many instances within the past 30 days. I would even go as far to say every day, these past 30 days, which would probably equate to most days of our lives, we are receiving guidance from our bodies. And it is up to us to lean into and decode that guidance so that it can be of greatest use and service to us. And it really does make our lives better when we are aware of what our instincts are telling us. That's really what this body wisdom is. It's our instincts, but it's also this connection to a greater source, a greater spirit, something beyond the monkey mind, if you will. And it has wisdom that can tell us things that our mind could never compute. And so within these past 30 days, I've seen that time and time again, that my body is so wise and that it has so much insight to give me when I take the time to pause, listen, and feel. And I want to give an example that actually just came up. So I have a client that I'm working with, and I ended up giving her a discount for some various reasons. And it just felt almost expected to give her this discount, to be honest. But in the moment when I agreed to it back a few weeks ago, I was like, yeah, this is fine. For the scope of work that I'm going to be doing, this should be fine. I'm happy to give you this discount. Well, after I got into the scope of work, I realized that there was a lot more that needed to be done that I could not just leave undone. So it was getting lumped onto my plate. And I started to feel a little bit frustrated, which, if you know anything about human design, you have something called a not self. And for me, my not self is frustration. So I know that when I start to feel frustrated, I'm out of alignment with my true self. So that's the first invitation that my body gave me to kind of like lean in, if you will, and get curious about what my body was telling me in reference to this situation. I noticed the frustration and I decided to journal on it and say why I was frustrated. And upon doing that, I realized that, you know what, I'm actually being taken advantage of. I don't think that this person is necessarily wanting to take advantage of me, but it is energetically uneven here. I'm doing a lot more than what I was asked to do, and I'm doing it for no extra compensation. So I'm starting to feel an uneven exchange now. And I am a recovering people pleaser. I have had that tendency in the past, and I'm trying to rewrite that and to be more grounded in my body and to speak my truth. After I did the journaling and tuned into why I felt frustrated and saw pretty clearly that, yes, this is an uneven exchange. This is energetically not balanced, and I feel undercompensated. Therefore, it's actually a negative exchange at this point because I'm feeling passively annoyed. I'm feeling upset, but I'm not communicating that, which is even worse than the uneven exchange, because the uneven exchange can be evened out. But when we hold it in, when we have resentment, when we have like this passive aggressive feeling going on in our bodies, it's actually hurting us, for one. That has an energetic consequence. And at the same time, it's harming the working relationship with the other person because they don't necessarily know that that's going on the other side. So it was almost as if after doing this whole 30-day series, I was given one more lesson or opportunity to put into practice what I learned to a greater degree in this series, which is that we need to follow our body's wisdom and lean into it and allow that communication system to guide us in everyday moments. It doesn't have to just be the big moments, or it doesn't have to just be the easy moments. It needs to be a muscle that we're working and getting more comfortable with, which I've talked about in some of these videos. I believe that it's becoming more and more important for us to know the language of our body, to use that muscle, and to become familiar with it and comfortable using it in our daily lives. So I actually wrote this client a message and I told her exactly how I felt. And I was very polite, professional, but I still named the things that were out of scope. And I said very clearly that I feel undercompensated. I feel that this is an unfair exchange, but I would feel more fairly compensated if we added this extra amount due to dun 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 dun. I hope that you understand. And I just wasn't asking. I was telling her this is how I feel and for this reason. And I was allowing her to just see what I was seeing from my side of the story. So from there, she actually responded rather quickly and said, I totally understand. I didn't expect this either. Of course. Meaning, of course, she has agreed to pay the extra amount. But it was a big deal for me. It was a big deal for me to confront that person, to not let it spiral into a whole day's worth of agonizing and feeling worked up about it, but to just be clear. This is what my body's communicating to me and showing me. I know that this is true from within me. I now need to vocalize it and acknowledge it, because that is the second part. We can't only just feel what our bodies are nudging us to do and then not act on it. It requires action. And so I hope that now by the end of these 30 days, you also feel more comfortable taking action on your body's wisdom and listening to the cues that your body is providing, and then also just feel a little bit safer to lean into them and to take that pause, to take that moment to decode, like I said, because it can have such powerful effects. And then within moments after that exchange, I felt better. My body felt lighter, it felt more expansive, and the energy had moved through and out the other side. So it was no longer having a negative effect on my health and my well-being and my nervous system, because I honored it. So wherever you are right now, I hope that these messages have found you. If you are someone who was meant to hear them, thank you again for tuning in and for sharing these past 30 days with me. I look forward to seeing you guys either in future YouTube videos or over on Instagram. You can find me at Nicole Biscay over there on Instagram. Thank you all so much.